Aaron Dykes here for TrueStreamMedia.com, and while I'm waiting for one project to finish up here late at night, I'm going to read you a quick passage from the History of Fabian Society, The Origins of English Socialism. This one's by Edward R. Peace, one of the group's founding members and main secretaries, and they remain interesting because they were founded in late 1883, essentially in 1884, 100 years before the marking point of 1984, the seminal book by George Orwell. And the Fabian Society is all about implementing socialism gradually, stealthily, incrementally, so it's not noticed or stopped, and so that they can make larger changes to society in ways that aren't immediately triggering a response from the public. So let's just read one of their founding documents. I believe it was written and published in 1887 by some of the core founders. Some of the more famous members include George Bernard Shaw, the playwright, H.G. Wells, the science fiction writer and eugenicist, and they've got a lot of eugenicists. But anyway, here's their basic document. The basis of the Fabian Society. The Fabian Society consists of socialists. It is therefore aiming at the reorganization of society by the emancipation of land and industrial capital from individual and class ownership, and the vesting of them in the community for the general benefit. In this way, only can the natural and acquired advantages of the country be equitably shared by the whole people. The society accordingly works for the extinction of private property. The extinction of private property, it's right there, and land, and the consequent individual appropriation in the form of rent of the price paid for permission to use the earth, as well as for the advantages of superior soils and sites. So you can see that environmental stuff about paying rent to use the earth has been a long time coming. The society further works for the transfer of the community and the administration of such industrial capital as can conveniently be managed socially. For owing to the monopoly of the means of production of the past, industrial inventions and the transformation of surplus income into capital have mainly enriched the property class, the worker being now dependent on that class for leave to earn a living. So they point out that the working class is subjugated to the big industrial titans, and so the industrial titans, not exactly mentioned here, will be funding the takeover of collectivism, a gradual creeping socialism, which will take over everyone's individual rights to own property. You'll pay a tax for use of the earth, and you will essentially be socially managed or managed socially. Anyway, if these measures could be carried out without compensation, though not without much such relief to expropriated individuals as may seem fit to the community, rent and interest will be added to the reward of labor. In other words, you'll be paying rent and interest on top of your labor, and you'll never be able to truly be free and clear. You'll never be able to actually own anything. You'll just be a renter on planet Earth managed by the Fabians and their ilk. The idle class, now living on the labor of others, will be necessarily disappeared, and practical equality of opportunity will be maintained by the spontaneous action of economic forces with much less interference with personal liberty than the present system entails. For the attainment of those ends of the Fabian Society looks to the spread of socialist opinions and the social and political changes consequent thereon, including the establishment of equal citizenship for men and women. It seeks to achieve these ends by general dissemination of knowledge as to the relation between the individual and society in economic, ethical, and political aspects. It's very interesting to note that the logos of the Fabian Society are twofold. One is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Though Fabians may look to be shepherds of the socialist way, they're actually admittedly wolves wearing sheep's clothing, that of the socialists. Their second logo is the turtle, who we all know beats the hare in his gradual, incremental racing to the finish line rather than quick bursts and distractions and so forth. So the Fabians are very methodical, very much all about injecting their stuff into the educational model, taking over gradually. But what are they working towards? Again, it's the extinction of private property and the paying in forms of rent, literally, for permission to use the earth. And they'll be the ones to manage it, and you'll be basically captives in their system. Signing off for TrueStreamMedia.com. Again, we do have other big reports on the way and lots of big research leads. TrueStream Media is just beginning, folks. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Signing off.